They will take on the 2023 winners of the Manhattan Beach Open, Taylor Sander and Taylor Crabb. Of course, Taylor versus Trevor, I said it before, this will be their 32nd time playing against each other in a professional setting. Taylor and
just one spot remains in our Sunday finals. The women's has already been set, but the men's final has one spot left. Chase Budding or Miles Evans have now booked their ticket into the final, but who will find that last spot? It's Crabb, Dalhausser versus Crabb, and Sander, a 4 versus 2 as we get set for the Manhattan Beach Open. Sunday action. It doesn't get much better than this. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn as we take a look at the bracket. There have been 31 meetings between the Crabb brothers throughout their time in the AVP. Trevor leads 18-13 in their series head-to-head. As you look at how it shaked out, as Buddinger and Evans just finished up the win over Schalk and Shaw, the 2-1 victory. The women's side was a little different, picked up straight sets to be able to find their way into the final. But Rich, when you look at yet another Crabb boil, what challenges, what is at stake between these two teams?
Well, there's obviously bragging rights, right? You mentioned the 18-13 advantage that Trevor has. A lot of that is recent, right? Taylor got off to a big jump in the series, the Crabb Boyle series, but you know, much like a politician making stock trades, insider information huge in these kind of matchups, right? And so they know each other so well that these are always so fun to watch because, yeah, the matchup is so different than any other team with the brothers knowing each other for a lifetime.
The stands are packed on this beautiful Sunday afternoon as more volleyball is still to come. See a look at Trevor Crabb and Phil Dalhausser. Dalhausser, 7 Manhattan Beach titles. He's currently looking and gunning for number 8, which would match that of Karch Karai, and Crabb with 4. It was once never Trevor. That is no longer the case.
Well, when you win and you get plaques on the pier, it's easy to be forever Trevor. And the one in the last 5 years he didn't win, won by his brother and Taylor Sander a couple years ago. So, yeah, a lot of titles being represented in this semifinal.
Get a chance to see the 45-year-old Phil Dalhausser. He stands at 6'9". He truly is one of the best to ever play the game. Over 100 career victories, over 62 AVP titles, 7 of which right here in Manhattan Beach. He announced his retirement into this year, and he chose this man, 6'4" Trevor Crabb, for his last and final curtain call.
Yeah, says he loves the kind of renewed sense of competitiveness that Trevor brings out in him. We know about Trevor's exploits, kind of needling his opponents and so forth on the court. And Phil is never that guy, but that is kind of the level of competitiveness that Trevor's able to draw out of the big fella. Somebody, I don't even say one of the greatest, I just say the greatest when I talk about Phil.
That's fair. He gets the applause he deserves. Out of Switzerland, and of course the Florida native. He's taken on the West Coast, and probably one of the walking highlight reels that you will see across professional sports, regardless of what you're finding. It's their 4th Manhattan Beach Open. They're 18-5 in terms of their record here. Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander.
Yeah, they are a highlight reel personified, without a doubt. You know, their bugaboo at times can be consistency, but when they kind of have that steely focus and they're locked in, they're one of the most difficult teams to contend with on all of the beach. Despite being just 6 feet, T. Crabby is a menace.
One of the best servers on the sand. Taylor Sander is a monster. How much is that going to play effect here, even considering the deeper sand in Manhattan Beach?
Yeah, I don't know. When you're as explosive as Sander, I don't know that sand depth ever matters to you, right? It matters for everyone else trying to get to your level of elevation. The blocking is something that he's continually improving at on the beach, almost opting to go to kind of a swing blocking indoor style, and he's making that sort of hybrid system work for him of late.
And it's pretty wild. When you take a look at some of his numbers through league play, he's leading in efficiency, leading in blocks, all the way up there in aces. And you put him in the deep sand, all of those physical elements are going to be challenged at a different rate here at the NBO. Trevor Crabb with first serve. Another Crabb boil starts right now. Immediately looks to his brother. Inside and unloads.
I mean, it just makes me chuckle because Taylor Crabb welcomes a bigger block, wants a bigger block, I think. You know, the bigger it is, the harder he's going to go after you. And he knows that oftentimes the middle of Phil's hands are open.
Cagey play just over the top. It's recycled back out. Here comes Phil. Looks down and is rejected.
A great defensive movement early from the Taylors. Little fake move, running into the angle on the first offering from Trevor, and then a nice little swatty from Sander to close it out.
Pops one short. Tight set, the on-one, and Trevor's on the chase. He's been dealing with injuries, but he's looking mighty fine now.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for the Taylors because I like the heads-up nature of the play from T. Crabbs, but when that doesn't go down and Trevor is able to put it away, you can be assured that there's going to be some extra screaming that goes along with it.
Phil Dalhausser at the service line, and 3 titles alongside Todd Rogers here at NBO, 3 alongside Nick Lucena, and 1 alongside Sean Rosenthal as we now check in with Kevin Barnett.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about the Crabb on Crabb battle there, and Taylor was looking at Trevor when he hit that ball over on 1, and as soon as Trevor put it away, immediately looked at his brother. And you rarely get anything from Taylor Crabb, but you got a little bit of like, oh, I can't believe that didn't work from him. It's rare that you get any reaction at all out of Taylor, but with his brother, for sure, you're getting some.
Yeah, you make a great point, too, because oftentimes Taylor Crabb just really doesn't give you much emotion to work with. It's challenging. You're like, man, I just really want to be able to rattle his cage a bit, and it's just not easily done.
Well, you would think that they would know each other's buttons and which ones to push and when, but
that one is out of bounds as well.
I'm having flashbacks to I'm just pulling your chain, coming from my brother throughout my childhood.
Yeah, fortunately for the two of you, it didn't happen to. It didn't have to happen on a stadium full of people in front of everyone.
That's very true. The abuse was more private. Is that what you're telling me?
That's right.
That dug well outside the court, and the first side switch heading the direction of Crabb and Sander.
And it's 4-3.
Phil Dalhausser again, 3 titles alongside 2 partners, and 1 also with the infamous Sean Rosenthal here in Manhattan Beach. The Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, infamous in some ways, but legendary in most, probably.
The Superman, one of the fastest on the sand, as is that man trying to stretch out to the left side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been kind of an ongoing strategy of teams against Phil. Here you see he's got a little bit of a lighter tape setup on the left calf today. He had it pretty heavily taped yesterday, and late in the afternoon, Nick and Tri in their quarterfinal match were going short against him a bunch, trying to neutralize the big fella.
This ball sent well wide of the court, and one team was actually able to neutralize that of Phil and Trevor throughout this tournament. They picked up the first round win, a second round win, and even the third round over Smith and Weber, but it was a loss to Buttinger and Evans before circling back and finding Triborn and Nick Lucena on the now 4-1 run for Crabb and Dalhausser.
Yeah, a couple hitting errors mixed in there, one from each of the Taylors.
Phil drops the hands down and sends it high.
I like the idea there. That's not a miss. That's Taylor Crabb trying to go after the high hands of Phil on a little bit of a tight set. But Phil very savvy up there. Make sure his hands aren't available for touching.
21 total blocks throughout the Manhattan Beach Open for Phil Dalhausser. Happy to let that one go. Sander looks to get a shot. That's too easy. Trevor Crabb on the recycle. A dagger to the corner.
Yeah, he's so good at that. You know, we have all of our expressions that we like to go to, 50 Shades of Line with Trevor Crabb and so forth. Yeah, Doug letting us know that when a team goes on a 4-1 run and then they get the next 2 points, that equals a 6-1 run.
We have Mastermind Mike and Diligent Doug.
Diligent Doug. Dialed in, Doug. Wow,
what a serve. Tries to find the kick save. LAFC is just a little ways away.
Yeah, I don't love that. It wasn't out of his reach. If we watch it again here, I mean, it's a great serve from Phil, so credit that. But this is well within reach for Sander with the arms.
It's been efficient work for Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander to this point, picking up 3 deuce wins. Just one 3-setter to Triborn and Nick Lucena. Man, that was an absolute battle between these two teams, or those two teams, and how fun has it been to watch Triborn and Nick Lucena throughout this weekend. What an incredible career for Triborn.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was amazing to see how well Nick plays, you know, considering that we call him retired with heavy quotes around that, I guess.
It's like Christmas in December, getting to see him back out on the sand.
But that December is when I celebrate Christmas. How about you, Cam?
Exactly. 9-5 here, Crabb and Dalhausser with a significant margin.
Yeah, they were down at the first side change, but that 7-2 run they went on really changes the texture of this first set.
Well, you said it to start. It's about consistency for these two, and especially starting fast and being able to maintain. They like to turn it on and dial it up when need be.
Yeah, sometimes that can be a dangerous game to play if you kind of ebb and flow in and out of focus. I think Kev made a great comment in one of the earlier semifinals, though, that you don't always get to choose your consistency level, though. You know, your opponents have a lot to say about that, and right now Phil and Trevor applying a lot of pressure from their side.
So far, it's been a game of keep away from Taylor Sander. He's just had 2 attempts and 1 kill, or excuse me, 1 error, 0 kills to this point, hitting -500. On the other side, Taylor Crabb, 8 attempts. He's undoubtedly been the target, as he is here. Crabb pulls back the lever and just lets it go loosely.
It's so pretty to watch how he loads his arm, and he can kind of hit it at any point along that. You know, he snaps through, obviously, but he can leave his hand by his ear and let the ball pop off at that point as well.
Get a chance to see the top deck of Phil Dalhausser. It always pays off.
Yeah, one of the things we were talking about yesterday, watching Phil play a bunch on Stadium Court here, is the height of the set. You know, he's a big guy. He's incredibly athletic, and so he necessitates an unusually high set, let's say, like a uniquely high set, maybe is a better way to say it. And sometimes when he gets in trouble, it's because that set doesn't get up high enough to give him options. When it does, it seems almost automatic.
He's working hard now on the transition play. Here's another feathery touch from Trevor Crabb. You talk about the set height, though, and so much of the game has evolved to this quick tempo spread offense and change. However, Phil Dalhausser just stick with what's been working for him for 20+ years.
Right, right. There are things that you should incorporate if you're the average human being, but when you are one of the greats and you're a unique athlete, and certainly Phil is all of those things, you do what works for you. And you lean into your strengths, and that heavy heat in the cross court, one of T. Crabb's strengths.
Taylor Crabb, 4 of 5, above 800, and just another unleashing. High set this time for Trevor Crabb, goes a little OT.
Yeah, right now, things rolling very, very smoothly for Crabb Dalhausser.
Gives us a time into the technical timeout to check in with Kevin Barnett.
Thanks, Cammy. I checked in with Paula Crabb, of course, mom to both Taylor and Trevor. And the usual question is, who do you want to win, who you're cheering for? I said, look, give me the non-bias. Who should win this match? And she said, look, I don't care. I'm already on to the final. I want whoever can beat Chase and Miles. Whoever the strongest is to beat Chase and Miles, that's where I want that person to win. So I think if you look at the records, she's got to be a Taylor fan right now, doesn't she?
You got to pick your pony, Paula.
I like that. Throw out the lunch meats, like Geeter used to say. Compete for the lunch meat and decide who's the strongest bull. Throw them into the final. See if we can get another plaque home to the Crabb family.
Taylor won the 2023 final here in Manhattan Beach. Trevor leads, though, 5-1 in MBO. 10 of the last 14 meetings, again, being decided in 3 sets. So we could go the distance here in this semifinal.
Yeah, right now looking pretty dominant on the side of Trevor and Phil. We talked about kind of the mercurial nature at times of the Taylors. So don't expect them to be down for long.
The most talented blocker in beach volleyball history, back to serve at 13-8.
Tough serve, fended off from Taylor Crabb. And there's that high in-between shot for Taylor Crabb.
I mean, that's just a phenomenal side out. Great, great serve from Phil up the line, and Taylor sticks it, gets up, and takes the tight set high through the hands. At 6 feet, no less.
Pretty wild to see how impactful that serve can be. This time it's Taylor Sander up at the net. Can't fight off the angle. But the last 7 Manhattan Beach Open finals have showcased a Crabb, one direction or the other. As Trevor Crabb has 4 titles to his name.
Yeah, that 2018 final hurt.
Yeah, that was to Phil and Nick.
That was to Phil and Nick, and that was back in the freeze era. And that came into play pretty heavily. Yeah, nice push through the block by T. Crabbs. Not sure we've ever seen him lose a joust.
Why is that?
Well, we talk about his height a lot, right? You want to be the lower person kind of pushing up into the block. You know that top down is not the strongest way to approach a conflict like that. And so he's got that. This one, oh, that's going to sail long. So 0 for 2 on the tomahawk over on 1. But also he's just so savvy. You know, he kind of absorbs the pressure and pushes late. So low and late is what you want to be on those jousts. And Taylor does just such an impeccable job of accomplishing that.
15-10 here, Crabb and Dalhausser hanging on with a steady lead. Tosses with the left, hits with the right from the service line. Drops the hands to the sand, but it's up and over.
We talked about Taylor Crabb's different contact points through his arm swing and how he can vary them so much. The ability to change speeds of his arm by Taylor Sander also so impressive.
Trevor Crabb works the interior of the court. You're getting his chance to see that arm swing. No, it's the option from Sander. Dalhausser with the poke.
I mean, it's the right play by Sander. It really is, but Phil is just so cagey, so good at controlling the ball. Gets the knuckle dig and the knuckle put away. You see right there up over the top. His ball control belies his size and length.
Short to the sideline this time. And a big jump into it for Taylor Crabb.
Yeah, the Taylors settling into a nice side-out rhythm right now. They haven't really been able to make any headway defensively yet, though, and a 4-point deficit at this juncture is a lot
Taylor started off this set, the first 2 points. Since then, they haven't been able to find consecutive strikes.
Yeah, they were up 4-3 at the first side change as well. And then it's, there we go. We count their side out. That counts as consecutive points, I think.
There you go, the back-to-back. And now let's head back to the sand with Kevin Barnett.
Just had a chance to catch up with Evie Matthews, coach for Taylor and Taylor. I said, what's the solution here? And he said, look, we need to find a way to get Trevor out of his side-out rhythm. He's just in a really nice rhythm at the moment. Serve him a little tougher, as here you see him get another smooth opportunity to side out, and now he's feeling it looking across the net. And the other comment was, we need to stop making mistakes. We're 0 for 2 on the over on ones. We've hit a couple of balls out, clean it up on our own side.
Yeah, to your point, Trevor Crabb right now hitting 9 of 15, just 3 errors. He's at a nice clip right now. Or excuse me, 7-11, hitting 545 with just 1 error on his side.
Yeah, you can't be giving away freebies, whether it's August or December, Cam. No Christmas presents being given out here if you expect to be successful.
Just a service error on both sides of the net. Taylor Crabb as an attacker with the highest number of total errors thus far, and also the highest number of attempts, 16 in total. Sander finds the top of the net from the service line. Trevor's dug. Here comes Tay.
I love that, though. I love the aggression in transition. I mean, it was kind of an all or nothing, a little bit of a low set and close. Taylor was going to go after it no matter what. Phil just does a nice job of shutting it down.
Adding insult to injury, Phil Dalhausser stuffs it straight back to the dome of Taylor Crabb. Nice footwork here from Sander. He checks down and finds a block. Quick jump set, trick play, and sends it out of the stadium.
What's astounding about Sander is we know he can fly high, but the quickness with which he can get out of the sand is amazing too. Getting that one on the way up still. Phenomenal athleticism.
The Sandman looks like he's starting to come to life here. He had a couple blocks, gets a touch there. And the redirect, they're going to ask for the ball over the net. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's one of those weird plays. If Sander doesn't touch it at all, it likely goes over the net. But as long as any sliver of the ball is on his side of the net or kind of on top of the plane, right above the net, it's fair game, and he certainly was well within his rights to take that one.
This first set looked like it was firmly in the grasp of Crabb and Dalhausser, and it has shifted just a 2-point game, a forced time out here. What really has elevated Crabb and Sander to this point late in set one?
They've steadied out, right? We heard Kevin tell us that Coach Matthews wanted them to minimize the errors. We haven't seen an error from them. I mean, if you count that block from Phil, that's not really a mistake that they made. That's just a good play on the other side.
All over. This is good, boys. Hey, we cleaned it up. We would have been up by 5, so we're going to keep rolling now.
That's right on cue. Evie Matthews with the agreement.
I agree with him. I just recently saw a clip from an interview with Rafa Nadal saying,
don't lose that thought. So you check in with the other box?
I'll take 2. Get on out there.
We wanted to make sure we saw Matt Heath tell Trevor to get back out and finish this one out.
Hey, sometimes you need a little boost, a little lift. But go ahead with your thought.
So Rafa Nadal was asked, you know, Nick Kyrgios said if he would have trained like you, he could have done this and that and the other thing. And Rafa Nadal said, if does not exist. All that exists is what actually happened. So I agree that had they made fewer errors, they would possibly be up by 5. But that is not what happened. So you just got to get out there and actually make the corrections.
That sounds very Yoda-esque. There is no try, right?
Yeah.
There's either do or do not.
Correct.
Those Star Wars fans?
I'm not sure if you're insinuating Rafa Nadal looks Yoda-ish, but
more like legendary-ish on the same level. 19-16 here. Crabb and Dalhausser back out of the timeout. Find one. Locked in is Phil, as are the fans behind him in the stands. Nice set out of system. Is it good? And it's just wide of the court. Now bringing us to a set point.
Yeah, that one looked a little strong off his hand from the get-go, didn't it? One of the things that was frustrating Phil a little bit yesterday was he was missing kind of an uncharacteristic number of serves. He has that well within control here, at least in this first set. He is serving lights out.
One ace, one error, and set point on the way. Set the distance, and Trevor at least gets a piece of it.
17-20.
Back-to-back NCAA Players of the Year, Taylor and Taylor. And that was a little perfect pass, set me the go, and feast down the line right there from T. Crabbs.
The Long Beach star and the BYU star, as that ball sent right into the top of the net. Set one belongs to Crabb and Dalhausser off the air.
It's one set.
So Crabb and Sander are going to look to find their rebuttal here in set number 2, looking for a spot into the championships come in just a few short hours. Dalhausser and Crabb have set their sights for another title and back on the pier.
How about a little magic? How about a little magic, huh?
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Trevor Crabb and Phil Dalhausser have been rolling here in Manhattan Beach. It's been mostly just deuce sets, just a handful of finding their way to 3. And right now they're looking to close this out with a second set win over Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sanders. You look to the set 1 stats, Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn, and some pretty stark differentials on the screen now.
Well, yeah, we focused a lot on the errors on the side of the Taylors, and you see that a 6-2 disparity, and that's essentially the difference on the scoreboard, right? They lose that first set by 4 points, and there you have it. I mean, it's obviously not that simple, but you can't make mistakes against a team like Phil and Trevor. Speaking of Trevor, longtime partner, longtime friend, Tri-born. And what a match that was yesterday afternoon, kind of his final match in Manhattan Beach. He and Nick Lucena squaring off against this duo of Dalhausser and Crabb. And it was an absolute delight to be a small part of that, because it was a fantastic match for legends of the game, I think. And they really brought an unbelievable level and an unbelievable energy, and this crowd was in full force in support of them. It was a wonderful moment.
It was really fun to watch from the exterior too, just how much AVP fans appreciated that matchup and getting to see Tri-born celebrated in such a way, as well as the return of Nick Lucena, even for that short stint. Again, Tri-born picking up 2 titles here, 2 Manhattan Beach titles alongside Trevor Crabb. That was back in 21 as well as 22. And then it was Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander who took down Theo Brunner and Trevor Crabb in 23. And then the redemption for Theo and Trevor. Last year, they just got to put their name back up on the pier in 2024.
I like that redemption. Makes me think of Adam Sandler's Cajun Man. Redemption.
As that first point and strike comes for Taylor Sander. Was that a southpaw?
That was a southpaw. We saw him do that earlier. Phil ran it down with the knuckle and got it, but that one was too good. A good start. We saw the hitting stats there. Trevor hitting 500 in that first set. Taylor hitting 350 with a few hitting mistakes. So outside of those mistakes, he's been very, very efficient. If he cleans that up a little bit.
Taylor taking a bit of a shot there as he landed on his left side. He's going to take an extra breather here. This was the full chase down you saw from him. Lays out and lands, and you can see the immediate wince.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Didn't look like he knocked the wind out of himself. Maybe.
Gives the thumbs up to his brother on the opposite side. However, he looks a little tense. His brother doesn't pull back and goes right at him.
I don't know that there's any mercy.
There's no mercy rule here.
Yeah, it's the Crabb household's kind of like the Cobra Kai gym, you know, the dojo. There's strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
I could see Paul and Nagy. Big double arm live for Trevor Crabb. We always talk about just the unique way Trevor Crabb approaches the game. How would you describe it, especially at this point in his career?
Yeah, I mean, he's surgical in his tactics, right? We were trying to decipher yesterday how and kind of when he's making the decisions he makes as to which shots to display, because he always seems to make the right decisions. He's got so many different options. And yeah, I mean, just the variety and the experience that he brings to any given match and any given point within that match is astounding. It's fun to watch.
Trevor Crabb, 10 kills, 17 attempts. Here comes number 18. As that's just his second error through the first 2 sets played. This is going to give us a chance to check in with Kevin Barnett.
Thanks, Cam. The focus for Crabb and Dalhausser between sets was on a couple of things. One, you know Crabb and Sander are going to make a run. Don't expect them to make as many mistakes as they made in the first set. So far, that's kind of held true. Two, they want to keep Phil in a good space with his jump serve. If you watched yesterday against Budinger and Evans, Phil was really all over the place with his serve. Way too many errors. It was jump floats into the net. It was jump serves into the net. He just couldn't get it dialed, and he was visibly frustrated. Came back in the next match, and he had it dialed back in. So they want Phil to remain aggressive and consistent. They had him go back to just jump serving into the space that he's known, where he's had so much success throughout his career. So watch that service game of Phil and how it continues to develop, knowing it's been a little bit of an issue yesterday on Saturday.
Yeah, 21 total service errors coming into this after 5 matches played, as that is quick to get back on the side of Crabb and Dalhausser.
Yeah, a couple bang-bang defensive plays. I like these schemes. And again, this is kind of that insider knowledge that Taylor has about his brother. Some of those 5 calls defensively, which is where Sander is going to be aggressively into the angle early, and Taylor just sets up on the line. It's almost like a I don't know what you would call it, like a 3-card Monty type of a game that you're playing against the offensive player. They can't believe you're there that early. Are you going to move? Are you not? And it just kind of scrambles the signals enough to hopefully get them to just roll it right in your lap.
It seems like currently working in favor of Crabb and Sander. Let's listen in.
And then you can chase him all the way there. But when he's looking beyond the line, he's coming in a little bit more shallow, a little bit more middle, right? Off the back line, you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense or no? Okay. And then when you see him there, you know that chop or deep cross is there.
Therese and Megan, of course, the pair played their college ball at USC. Both of them got a couple of national championships.
What's that? Yeah. Especially if they serve him short. That's just going to be a quick snap. Let's go.
That's Coach Matt Heath with Dalhausser and Crabb. Longtime friend of Phil Dalhausser, AVP Pro back in the day.
Both coming out of Florida. Yeah, right. Old friends now working alongside one another.
Just kind of offering his perspective on what's going on out there in the second set. It's interesting, though. You know, when I was working with Taylor and Jake, we would almost have Taylor kind of leading the discussions in these matchups, the Crabb-Boyle matchups, because he knew his brother so well, and so the rest of us were just going to kind of defer to that information and follow along.
Can you give us any of the little black book of secrets, how you want to play defense against Trevor Crabb?
Well, one of them was kind of more of those 5 calls that we've seen. I'll point it out if it happens again.
That's a quick snap to the sideline.
You mentioned it in one of the women's semifinals, Cam. The audio on his attacks is so unique, right? He's really got that pop, just acoustic snap when he hits the ball.
It's so different from his partner, Sander. It's way more of a thump, a thud when you hear it, right? Phil Dalhausser with a silent killer.
It works just as well.
Well, when it's coming from that attack point, yes.
We mean this in the most complimentary way, Phil. Silent but deadly.
I don't know if that's ever been used on a broadcast. Only on the AVP. Side out pressure has switched now. Sander getting a shot here in set number 2. Oh, and Taylor gets his ankles broken by his brother.
Yeah, that was a great little last-second push deep with the knuckle there. Yeah, I think Trevor revels in that a little bit, right? He doesn't just want the kill. He wants it to hurt a little bit, too.
5-7. Dalhausser looking to close the gap. Sander with the seam.
Yeah, I like that. They tried the little short play inside. It didn't work out, so they just go back to the standard. Let Taylor Sander be the high flyer that he is.
Trevor with 2 quick steps, and that's simply too tight.
That's a little too close. Yeah, you got to credit Sander for being disciplined up there on the block. But yeah, Trevor didn't have anywhere to go with that. Tried to recycle it, just didn't work out.
Trevor coming in to this semifinal, hitting 447, his partner 444. It's been almost an equal share between the two in terms of attacks taken. Trevor stared down the sun and finds the Wilson back into the angle.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a look at that 5 defense. Trevor wisely going up the middle, which kind of foils that defensive setup. But yeah, that's where Taylor's big into the angle early. So he's seen there. And T. Crabbs is just sitting on the line, hoping to get that ball right in his lap. Ooh, just barely.
A little showmanship from Taylor Crabb, pulling the platform back out.
He's the bullfighter, right? Just waving.
The red flag. Oh, is that the noise that they make?
Yes, you have to make that noise, otherwise you get gored.
Taylor Sander has yet to be that effective from the service line. That's his 3rd error. Actually, Crabb and Sander combined still with 0 aces. Just 1 in this match between these two teams.
Yeah, like in this second set, T. Crabbs has gone to the jump serve, being a little more aggressive from the line. Yeah, but Sander needs to warm up that great serve of his. That is crafty.
Do you think there's bets being made between the brothers in terms of who can find the clean winner more often? Like, you have to at least to get a hand on it, or it's bragging rights regardless.
Yeah, I don't know if there's actual bets. I mean, if watching the UFC fights with both of them last night is any indication, there probably is something on the line.
Fought off on the right side of Taylor Crabb. Drops the elbow.
That is so classy.
Kevin Barnett, what are you seeing down there?
You're talking about bets, Cam. Well, there is a bet. It's between Trevor Crabb and one Tim Hovland. There's a rather substantial beer bet as to whether Trevor can tie the Hov for all-time Manhattan Beach Open victories, all-time number of plaques. How about that? Never would have had that at the start of Trevor's career, that he is on the verge of tying one of the all-time greats.
Pretty impressive. You always have to have something on the line as Trevor Crabb again looking to find a 5th Manhattan Beach Open title.
Yeah, there again, that set too tight against Phil, but Taylor Crabb welcomes those types of situations. Just goes up and shoves that ball through. Yeah, the Hav, one of the all-time greats. And if you, as we take another look at that, just a good job staying aggressive there through the block. If you look at Shellbacks right behind us, Hav's partner, Mike Dodd, has a poster up there on the outside of the wall chronicling those 5 titles.
Kevin Barnett, we're back with you.
Yeah, those guys are the big game hunters, right? And it speaks to the relationships that are developed through this sport, through the generations. Hav and Dodd still playing during the week, coming down. Hav, he can't really move anymore. He can't really do a lot of things he used to be able to do, but he can still talk. So he goes heavy into that. But the relationships are certainly tight and exist between that generation of greats and the current generation of greats, continuing to push the sport forward, as well as the history and the legend of the game with it.
Kev, I know you're in this same category as me. I wish my knees and shoulders were as healthy as Hovland's jaw.
Oh, no joke. No joke. I mean, those who can play, those who can't talk about it, Rich Lamborn.
That is correct.
Hav Dodd winning 5 straight in Manhattan Beach. And the legend continues. They give back to the next generation. Crabb and Sander now looking to force this into set number 3 out of the technical timeout. What's going to be the difference maker here for Crabb and Dalhausser to come back?
Yeah, they've just got to get back into that good side-out rhythm. You know, again, you have to credit the Taylors for tightening up their game. They're making far fewer errors in this second set. They're able to impose their will a little bit more defensively. Some of their scheming is working out well. And it's just that ongoing chess battle, right? So that's why you kind of get the back and forth that you see so many 3-setters evolving between the brothers.
Fast feet to the outside. Here comes Taylor Crabb, and he is simply denied access. The big block of Phil Dalhausser.
Yeah, that's a nice move. A little bit outside his body there for Big Phil. A lot of times he's kind of a straight up, straight over guy, but have a look here. He goes straight up and then presses to that sideline, closing it down.
Tough ball to the outside. Trevor, too fast, awkward contact.
Wow.
And he can't finish the play.
That is unfortunate for Trevor and Phil that one sails long enough. I don't know how he managed to make that dig so well. Once that ball kicks off the top of the tape, it changes direction and he's already committed to the dive. Somehow his rotator cuff stays intact as he gets that ball behind his ears.
I mean, this is a guy that dealt with a quad injury, a back injury just in the last few months, and he looks like he's playing free of worries until now.
Yeah, and those are just absolute daggers, right? Right when you feel yourself getting back into this second set after the stuff block from Phil, you come up with the great dig you can't convert, and then that no communication ace.
Taylor Crabb kind of takes the fist on the serve as the cut shot comes from his brother.
Yeah, I like that. That's a little page out of Pedro Salgado's book, serving. He kind of would just stand at the baseline and go fist, and it's hard to tell if it's going to go short or deep. It kind of keeps you guessing that way.
How many people have you seen utilize a serve like that?
Very few, but that's why I invoked the name of Pedro. He was kind of the only one I can remember. That is pretty.
I mean, we've become so accustomed to seeing the Sandman just unload on attack after attack, and when he can pair it with something like that.
Well, to me, that's literally the like the clips of Tiger Woods. You see fully loading his swing, and then somebody coughs, whatever, and he stops it. That's what Taylor Sanders doing. They're fully loading that arm, and he just slows it down right at the last second.
The rare error from Phil Dalhausser. He's only seen 8 total attempts. He's had 6 kills, but he adds in an extra error here.
Sometimes this can be dangerous, I feel like. The Taylor's running away with this second set. I always felt a little anxious when you would do that. You go into a third set and you feel like your prey is wounded almost, but they come back stronger more often than not, especially when they're veterans the likes of Trevor and Phil.
You think Crabb and Dalhausser just kind of wash their hands of this second set and move on to number 3?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the best athletes, and certainly these 4 guys are in that category, have the shortest memories, right? What happened last play is over. It's in the past. We're right on to this and what's happening now.
Over the last 10 Manhattan Beach finals, either Phil or Trevor has won the title as that ball is sent straight to the sand. Time to add a little extra power to this matchup.
He just always seems to know when it's going to be a highlight swing, too, because it seems to be accompanied by an extra ooh on the contact.
I love the celebration from Taylor Sander as well, kind of pulling that arm right back, saying it's already ready. It's cocked and loaded. Taylor Crabb finding the upright.
Yeah, it's no good.
That's not good for 3 here.
Yeah, I like him staying aggressive from the service line, though. I think it's kind of indicative of what has them running away with this set is just that good, renewed, aggressive mindset. And even if it leads to a service mistake here or there, the net is hugely positive for them.
Opportunity. It is a spike set to pure perfection. Only Taylor Crabb.
The Team Dominique Wilkins of beach volleyball, the human highlight reels, the spike set. T. Crabby. How about it? Yeah.
Does that go down as an attempt?
Yeah, I mean, this should be hockey, right? You get a point for that as well.
Here comes set point for Crabb and Sander. They've righted the ship. And another human highlight reel from Taylor Crabb.
I don't know that I've ever seen that, Cam, where a ball is hit so hard it hits the defender and the blocker before the blocker lands.
Simply astonishing as Taylor Crabb trying to cool off the platform. Don't do that quite yet, bud. You got set 3 coming your way.
Yeah. Phenomenal performance from the Taylors in set 2, but as you said, it's only 1 apiece. You still have a lot of work left to do, and we reset the scoreboards. Look at the layout. I mean, I think our poor camera guys might have gotten whiplash down there trying to follow that.
Oh man, this is what the MBO is all about. Second men's semifinal coming down to set number 3. The 4th straight third set match for Phil and Trevor. They've gone 4-2 in 3-setters this year. And get this, the Taylors also 4-2 in 3-setters. That's also including league play. These are the kind of moments you live for as a professional beach volleyball player. 15 points, just separating you from the final of Manhattan Beach Open.
Yeah, of the many, maybe unending superlatives we could use about both Crabb brothers, they are both consummate entertainers, giving the crowd what they want here on a Sunday.
Got a chance to see Taylor Sander on one sideline, prepping as we look now to the stats from sets 1 and set 2. See the differential there. Crabb and Sander hitting 722 in the second.
Yeah, keep in mind you have one of the best blockers of all time in front of you, and you put up a 722 clip. I mean, that is what we call correcting the ship in a big way for the Taylors. And now it's a matter of who's going to execute here in the third set, as is almost always the case, Cam.
Phil Dalhausser, over the course of 20 seasons with the AVP, 62 titles. And he just needs this set 3 to find himself with a shot for one more. Trevor with a little extra emphasis. The fake out. Taylor Sander.
Yeah, so right now you're getting a little bit of a combo. We talked about the 5 setup defensively for the Taylors. This is more of a traditional 1, and you see T. Crabb's kind of give that juke towards the line early and then just sit in the pocket, and he comes up with the dig there.
Trevor went hard into the angle last time, and he goes right back to it.
Yeah, chopping off a little bit of angle. T. Crabb's leaning into the middle just a touch. Was a tactical pull from Sander as well, so trying to mix in a lot of different looks.
Yeah, we typically don't see that from Sander. Flies the platform through that one. Trevor says too easy. Sets up, and another open net. Trevor staring Taylor down across the net.
Still staring. I think, yeah, that was a fantastic dig. I think that goes often a little bit overlooked in the game of Trevor Crabb. He is such a good defender, has become such a good defender. By which I mean, you know, he doesn't dig as many balls as his brother, but the balls that kind of come into his circle of influence, he controls extremely well, and there was a good example.
I love that, the circle of influence. For Trevor Crabb has found 5 total digs, his brother 9.
Yeah, a lot of those kind of late in that second set as well, and there is a hitting error, so let's kind of keep an eye on that number for the Taylors. It's what hurt them in set 1. They cleaned it up in set 2 and ran away with it. Shorter set, they become more of a thing.
You go head to head, and here comes Trevor. Double block, leaves too much real estate at the back of the court.
Yeah, that's one of those ones we saw Taylor Crabb deal with the tight set really well early, going through the top of the block of Phil. But if it's kind of just a little bit off where it's too tight to have your range, you have to go up over the top, and that gives Trevor so much time to run it down behind Big Phil.
Phil Dalhausser, you just think about some of the great moments, some of the great stats that come his direction as he has a 4-1 run. He's got nearly an 800% match record in AVP matches over the course of 20 years. 613 to 174. You want to talk about experience. The 4-time Olympian and gold medalist has it all.
Yeah, I would be willing to guess that more of those losses came early and a lot fewer of them came later. So probably if you remove the first 5 years of his career from the statistic, the win rate is even higher.
Started his career back in 2003 with his longtime partner and friend Nick Lucena. Ventured on to Todd Rogers, picked up the gold medal, spent some time with Sean Rosenthal, and back to Nick Lucena. At 4-1 now, this gives us a time. Kevin Barnett, what you got?
Talk a lot about partnerships and the energy between partners. Good job that time coming off. All the chatter was about great digging by Trevor and the job he's doing defensively. That was coming from Phil especially. And then Trevor saying, let's not blow this lead here, all right? I needed to get a few digs on Taylor because he was digging me. So let's not blow this, and there might have been some expletives in their lead, and let's extend it. So defense playing a huge role here in set 3.
Great call, Kev. We'll track that as this third set continues on. No defense on that, and we continue to see Taylor and Taylor pulling off the net against the opposing Trevor Crabb.
Yeah, it's well seen and well executed by Trevor. I don't mind the tactical attempts from Taylor and Taylor. You know, you don't judge really the success of a tactic based on any one given result, right?
Without a doubt. Serve goes into the middle as the high shot into the corner falls for Taylor Crabb.
Yeah, that was pretty. That kind of goes back to your point, though, that report from Kevin about Trevor being very cognizant of the fact that he's being outdug by his brother. So there is that little kind of game within a game, yeah.
2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and a left hand is enough to get 1 dig, but not 2.
Yeah, there again is that 5 setup. He got the swing down the line, but T. Crabb's is leaning a little bit to his right. All he can do is throw the left pawn, and it goes over the net.
So is the best shot against that the ball down the middle?
that's a good option. They're kind of giving away the cut.
Okay.
Because that's Taylor's job on that, is dig the hard-driven line and then run down the deep angle.
Tight ball here. Phil Dalhausser looked like he was reaching back to the Manhattan Beach Pier. He was so far over the net.
Yeah, again, once that ball breaks the plane, that kind of imaginary line that extends through the top of the net, it's fair play to go after it.
It's time to make a move for Crabb and Sander. They're in dangerous water. It's officially been chummed. Perfect set. And a souvenir.
By Taylor right down the middle, up into the sands.
Yeah, 7-4 feels like a big deficit, but there's still more than half of this third set to go. So you just have to remind yourself that there's time. Just keep chipping away, see if you can't minimize the mistakes. Unfortunately, that won't help you.
I was going to say, so at this point, do you try and rely on the serve, or do you dial it back and rely on the defense of your partner?
Well, you know, we talked about in set 2 that aggressive mindset. You know, if it leads to a service error or two, you'll kind of take that because everything else raises its level alongside. So, you know, I think that's where they have to go if they're the if you're the Taylors.
Back-to-back service errors.
Yeah, right now Trevor is once again settled into a good side-out rhythm, so you've got to keep some pressure on him.
Instead, it's an easy ball right on the platform. Good touch from Sander. Taylor, wrist away, and it's right to the interior of the court. 6-8, they're making moves.
That is such a good swing. Wonderful set after the touch from Taylor Sander. And then instead of going kind of at the meat of the court where both Phil and Trevor were standing, he goes deep away to the corner.
Just one ace from the Taylors thus far. They're just popping this over to Trevor because they want to rely on that defense. Here it comes, number 5 for Taylor Sander.
That was trouble from the beginning on the service reception. Phil put up a pretty nice set, but it kind of minimized the vision and the escape routes that Trevor Crabb had, and good discipline at the net from Taylor Sander, closing that line, that easy out down.
I mean, when you look at the serve from Taylor Crabb, he looks like he's just popping it in like a easy ball. How does it create so much havoc? Another easy ball set.
Yeah, I mean, he's making his brother move, right? It doesn't have to be fast so long as it kind of makes you move, pulls you in, pushes you back, does something to disrupt your comfort level. But Trevor doing a nice job getting that pass up for the option.
Lead minimized to just 2. And make it 1 now. Crabb and Sander within striking distance.
This match is wild, Cam, and it was all Crabb, Dalhausser in set number 1, all Taylors in set number 2, and now we're kind of seeing a microcosm of that all compressed into this third set.
The first men's semifinal went to 3. They were tied at 10 apiece, and it's looking like we're about to hit that mark, evening the score 9-all.
Like we talked about, it seemed like 15 seconds ago, you know, 7-3 is a big deficit, but you still have time, and here we are at 9-9 just a few moments later.
It's a great call. It was 7-3. That's 6 blocks, and now a 5-1 run for Crabb and Sander. Big block up in front. Gets a piece, uses a net as an extra contact. Can he find the sand? No. Instead, another dig. Open net. Here comes Phil. He finds it.
Earmark that play, Cam. That went the way of Crabb, Dalhausser. Could that be kind of the decider in this one that reignites Phil and Trevor? We'll have to see. But certainly had that gone the way of the Taylors, you would feel that the momentum was firmly in their favor.
Finishing it off to keep the lead 10-9.
Big moments here. Crabb and Sander looking for a side out. Taylor, big block in front. It's a chest dig. Hard to control with the pectoral muscles.
As juicy as Trevor's pecs look in the Manhattan Beach sun, still hard to control that level of heat.
We've got identical scores from our first men's semifinal now into our second. It's a race to 5. Taylor shifts left, turns right, and Trevor sends it right back to his right side.
Trev knew quickly, too. It looked like Taylor had a beat on it. It was a little bit high and wide of him. Couldn't quite rein it in.
Taylor waits to get into position now on the left side of the court. Steps forward. Is it an ace?
And there we go. What a beautiful serve. Trevor is just, you know, a little bit of a tactician back there. It doesn't look impressive, but how about the placement? Short-ish middle.
This time deep-ish middle. Crabb with some net love. They needed that. 13-10 looks a lot different than 12-11.
That's, you know, you tap your chest and you point to whoever set up the net for this men's semifinal after that one, just dribbling over and staying inside the lines.
Throw a few extra bucks their way, right? Jump float. I formation in front. He jumps late into the angle. Another look. Taylor Sanders saying, yeah, I got a piece of that. Give me the stat.
Doug Strauss, write it down. That's a block for Taylor Sanders.
Looks a little more net than hand, but sure, we'll give it to you.
Just has to catch one little hair on your arm.
An ace!
How about that? We talked about the aggressive mindset. I also love it being paired with the prudence of keeping pressure on the side-out game of Crabb and Dalhausser. Sander just getting those serves in good spots, getting the ace anyways, getting the lead here at 13-12.
Just shankopotamus for Trevor Crabb. That's right on his platform, and it just flies to the right side.
That was my least favorite Sesame Street character.
Listen in now.
Swing, right? It's a showtime, right? We're just gonna... All right. So we know it's gonna come in heat. Let's just try to tap one.
Yeah.
All right, good pass here. We're great passers. We're fucking champions. It's time to do it right now.
I just found the ball, a brand new optics Wilson ball that happens to be.
If this shit was easy, we wouldn't do it. It'd be a waste of our time, right? This is fun.
I just found it. Where am I going? Who wants it?
We want the challenge. Let's go, guys.
This team has had their mind set on winning the Manhattan Beach title this year. Phil wants to match that of Karch Karai with 8 total titles. Right now, they trail by just 1. His partner he chose to get the job done was Trevor Crabb this year, who has 4 to his name. And right now, has to find the mindset after the shank to give the lead back to Crabb and Sander.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-0 scoring run you see there on the stat. I like the reminder, though, from Matt Heath there in the timeout. If it were easy, we wouldn't want to be out here doing it. It would be a waste of our time.
Sander loads the hands. I don't even know how he got a hand on it.
Yeah.
13 all.
No, that's just hang time, and now it's first to a 2-point advantage here. I mean, could you ask for anything more in this semifinal, this Crabb Boyle? Keep in mind, another thing that Matt Heath said during the timeout was that the Taylors, they felt like we're going to be looking for kind of the highlight swing. Look for the gas from both guys and prepare accordingly.
Is it time for a Phil Dalhausser block? He tracks Taylor Crabb inside, drops the hands.
Well, Coach, you were absolutely correct, but T. Crabbs is never afraid of the moment, and this is the moment where he and Taylor Sander have their first match point.
Taylor Crabb with the serve. He goes right at Trevor. Trevor from 5 feet off.
It is so close, so difficult to block on the beach. Taylor Sander all over that ball, but it just rattles through the hands.
Must win by 2.
Cam, I'm going to need a new manicure after this. I'm biting my fingernails up here.
We're betting on Sander making an error, and he does just that. No touch on the block. That ball is out of bounds. Match point reversed.
That is a high-level tactical decision right there. Trevor and Phil going Taylor Crabb's way the entirety of this set, throwing one at 14 all the other way.
First match point opportunity. Crabb Dalhausser sends them to the final.
Unbelievable. If it were easy, it would be a waste of our time, says Coach Matt Heath. It was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Phil doing Phil things on a Sunday, Cam, closing it out with the stuffy.
Just a remarkable sequence. The last 3 points. Dalhausser and Crabb are once more moving on to a final.
Trev signaling to the crowd that number 5, he feels coming up for him. Number 8 coming up for his partner. They'll have an opportunity to make that come true here in just a couple of hours.
A fantastic ending to our semifinal matches. Thanks so much for joining us. You can join us now on the CW as well as the women's and men's championships from Manhattan Beach soon coming.